Hi, my name is Eric, and we are going to talk about the 2020 BMW X5M today. If you like high performance and sports cars, consider subscribing. So the X5M was seen running some pretty hot laps around the Nurburgring in the last couple of days. So the current X5 was unveiled in the summer of 2018, and it's based on the CLAR platform. I don't know if I'm supposed to call it CLAR or what. However, it is going to be, I think, similar to the current F90 BMW M5. It's almost certainly going to have a shared engine and transmission. Currently, that engine is called the S63. It's a 4.4 liter V8 with twin turbos in the V. It's called a hot V, kind of like a hot pocket, but probably a lot more fuel inefficient. It's got a closed deck design, which means it can handle a lot more pressure than an open deck design. So I've talked about this before, but what is a closed deck design? In this open deck design here, you can see the water jackets around the cylinders are open, and the block is not going to be quite as strong and not going to be able to handle quite as much boost because you can get a little bit of distortion on the cylinder walls. When you close it off, the one downside that you get is it's a little bit harder to cool. The 2JZ and the 1JZ from Toyota, they're both closed deck designs. However, they have a little bit of a problem cooling the engine. Getting cooling into that engine has always been a bit of an issue. So the B58 engine, which is also in the new Toyota Supra, it's a BMW designed, co-designed engine with Toyota. It's also a closed deck design, should be able to handle a lot of boost too. It's definitely a trend that I think we're seeing in the automotive space for high performance engines now. So we're expecting that the current 4.4 liter V8 is going to be slightly updated for the 2020 version, and I'm thinking it's going to make about 600 horsepower in the base trim. There's also talk of a competition version which will be released at the same time actually. Usually there's a delay with the M cars in the competition version, like the M2 and the M2 competition. However, it looks like in the X5M, the competition version is going to be available right away. And the 2019 M5 competition, that's going to make 617 horsepower. We're talking about a lot of juice here. And the torque, 553 pounds-feet. So I think really we're going to see pretty similar numbers in the SUV. But let's talk about this hot V for a sec. So what's the point of having turbos in the hot V? You're obviously going to generate a lot of heat. Some of that is probably going to go down into the engine a little bit. However, the idea is to reduce the length that the air has to come from the intake at the bumper or wherever it is, all the way into through the turbos and into the head, into the intake, and that's going to reduce throttle lag. It's going to reduce turbo lag, excuse me. And when I drove the X5M, the past generation one, it had very, very little lag. It's actually pretty impressive, like today overall with the new turbo cars, how little lag there is. I have a BMW 1M, which has an N54 engine, the sort of first generation of the inline-six turbos that BMW produced, and it's relatively lag-free. However, compared to the newer cars, you can tell there's a bit of lag there. So the M version of the SUV, it's going to receive a revised chassis, and it's going to have active dampers all around, and it's going to have active anti-roll as well too. And you know, for an SUV, this is a pretty loaded SUV. This is not on the same level as like a Trackhawk or something like that, which is pretty expensive too. This is really, you're going a whole step above. You're getting the interior from a BMW, and it's a brand new interior for the X5 from 2018. I think it's very, very clean looking. It has dual displays. You got a 12.3 inch display in the center of the console, and then you've got a fully digital display on the dashboard. And the transmission is gonna be the ZF 8-speed. It's used in practically every single BMW right now, the ZF 8HP. It comes in different torque ratings. It's actually a very compact unit, and it fits in a lot of different applications. Pretty impressive transmission. It shifts so quickly, and it locks up very quickly too, so it feels a lot like a DCT actually. This transmission is used in a wide variety of vehicles, and the brand new Toyota Supra is going to get a version of this transmission as well. tuned by Toyota though. Compared to the last time we saw the spy photos for the X5M, there's been some changes, and I think what we got going on in the front of the car is something that's going to be pretty close to stock, pretty close to production. This photo is from topspeed.com, and you can see we've got some pretty large air intakes here ahead of the wheels. Behind those is some kind of radiator, probably, I don't know if it's an intercooler or it's just cooling for the transmission or something like that. Not quite sure what that is. Looks like there's an intercooler in the middle, and then we have this big sensor here, which is probably for active cruise control. And then we have this massive waterfall BMW grille. I know it's pretty controversial lately, this waterfall grille. I'm a little bit mixed on it. It's awfully big, and there's been a lot of memes about this thing too. Overall, you can see it's just a little bit more aggressive than the standard X5. The fenders are a little bit more flared. The car is going to be a little bit lower too, so it just got a little bit more of a muscular nature going on to it. So the X5 for the first time in this generation has an off-road package. BMW is kind of touting it. You've got this really cool off-road video through the woods. I think it's kind of interesting. I don't know that the off-road package is going to be available with the X5M. It's obviously got wider tires, and in the snow that's not going to be as good. You're going to be floating up above the snow. You want thinner snow tires to go down through the snow and connect with the ground. Anyways, I don't know what their plans are with regards to that. Now, surprisingly, for this high-end SUV class, there's actually a fair bit of competition. This is where the manufacturers actually make a lot of money. You've got the Alfa Romeo Stelvio Quattrofiglio, I don't know if I pronounced that right, I tried. The Mercedes-AMG GLE 63S, the Audi SQ7, and of course the new Porsche Cayman. While the X5M might have a little bit more power than the Porsche Cayman, the Porsche Cayman is probably going to be just as quick. Porsche is pretty good at these things. The Porsche also comes in at a lot more money. So the X6M, which is listed on the BMW website, is at $106,000. These are going to be twins, essentially. It's just a slightly different configuration. So I would expect that it's going to come in at about the same price as well. And obviously you can load up a whole lot of options on it because it's a BMW. When are we going to see this? Probably, my guess is at the Frankfurt Auto Show, which is going to be in September. However, they might do a standalone release. Again, not quite clear, but I would expect this is going to be going on sale pretty late in 2019 or perhaps even early 2020. Again, not entirely clear when it's going to be out. You're probably here because you like performance cars and performance vehicles. I've got a couple other videos right over here. You can click on them. I've also got a Patreon if you want to support me and get early access to my videos on scripts and stuff like that. I want to thank my patrons. They're right on screen up here. See you in the next video.